This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flow's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
It's Thursday, March the 10th, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story, amidst concern about the future funding of healthcare in Barbados, the island's premier public health care institution is facing a massive budget cut. Government is proposing to slash the budget of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by a whopping $9.1 million for the next fiscal year, which begins on April the 1st. In the 2016-2017 estimates of expenditure and revenue tabled in Parliament Tuesday by Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair, the Frontal Stewart administration proposes to cut the QEH's budget to $146.2 million from the $155.3 million approved for 2015-2016. The Ministry of Health is in line for an overall cut in its budget of about $3.4 million to just over $332.7 million for the upcoming fiscal year, should the estimates receive parliamentary approval. A breakdown of the estimates by Barbados Today showed that overall hospital services would face an $8 million reduction to $182 million. Also in line for a budget cut is the care for the elderly, down from $36.1 million in the 2015-2016 period to $35.8 million for 2016-2017. However, primary health care services will be allocated $29.3 million, up by $1 million over the previous year, with all polyclinics seeing a slight increase. Government has set aside over $5 million in this year's financial estimates for its year-long celebrations of the island's 50th anniversary of political independence, which culminates on November the 30th. This is in addition to the $1.27 million set aside for the celebrations in the last fiscal year. The spending details are contained in the same estimates. Now, under the Prime Minister's office, a total of $5.1 million has been allocated for the coming fiscal year, which begins in April. That's to cover the expenses of the National Independence Secretariat, which is in charge of the activities. A further $750,000 has been assigned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to cover the operating expenses of the overseas missions for the national celebrations. This has nothing to do with $4.3 million for at-home operational expenses, which is more than 3 times the amount allocated in fiscal year 2015-2016. In other news now, Barbados and its Caribbean neighbors are seeking to avoid a repeat of the 2009 CLICO collapse that sent shockwaves across the region's insurance and financial sectors. In this regard, serious consideration is to be given here today to a proposal made by central bank governors for strengthening the sector's regulations. Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Barbados, Cleaveston Haynes, made the disclosure yesterday following the opening of a 3-day high-level conference of local, regional, and international regulators. Haynes told reporters that no regional governance system was in place at the time of the CLICO failure. However, he said a first-ever regional stability report had been released, which included a proposal by governors to tackle financial stability issues.
We are in the process of building early warning systems to better predict stresses in the financial system, both at the national and regional levels. Individual central banks are carrying out stress tests on their financial systems, the results of which are summarized in the National Stability Reports that most regional jurisdictions are now preparing. Work in this area has been enhanced by a project pioneered by the regional central bank governors in association with the American Development Bank and the Caribbean Center for Money and Finance. The aims of which were to develop and upgrade financial soundness indicators and early warning systems for the overall assessment of financial stability in the Caribbean region, assist with the preparation and upgrading of national financial stability reports, and prepare and publish a regional financial stability report that would, inter alia, identify factors creating financial stability risks due to interconnectedness and determine the level of resilience of the regional financial system to key macroeconomic shocks.
It was not a real sitting of Parliament yesterday, but a group of senior citizens came together to hold a mock session of the House of Assembly at the Parkinson Research Center in the Pine, St. Michael. One of the items on the order paper was whether Barbados should become a republic, and the majority of members gave a resounding yes. 92-year-old Emerson Bellamy was among those contributing to the debate. He says change is necessary as the country continues to develop.
To become a Republican, we must go through changes. And if there's no change, there's stagnation. I become stagnant. If there's no change, we all will perish. But all depends on what results the changes will bring.
In sports now, West Indies women's tour of South Africa has ended in disappointment for the Caribbean side. They lost the third and final 2020 international by 4 runs and lost the overall series 2-1 yesterday. Chasing 120 for victory at Newlands, West Indies women were sailing at 81 for 3 in the 15 overs at one stage, before losing 5 wickets for 16 runs in 18 deliveries. They ended on 115 for 8 off their 20 overs. They will now turn their attention to the T20 Women's World Cup in India from March 15th to April the 3rd.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Lord, these papers ain't selling at all. Get your paper. Only $2.25, get your paper. Get your paper, miss. Look, take it, I can pay for it.
Barbados today, all the way.
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
Turning now to news from the region, the commission investigating that Delhi Camp Street prison fire in Guyana has been given an extended date to submit its findings. As a result, Minister of State Joseph Harmon is appealing to persons who have evidence to come forward and testify.
In an effort to have a thorough investigation into that deadly Camp Street fire and its aftermath that claimed the lives of 17 inmates, that March 15 deadline, originally given to the 3 commissioners to complete their work, has been extended.
In fact, we've pushed that back because we recognize that timeline would not be enough for them to actually do a proper investigation. So we've pushed that back for at least 2 more weeks. We expect that they should finish the work within a month.
Minister of State Joseph Harmon speaking with media operatives just after the 3 commissioners were sworn in on Monday. Several prisoners, after they met with Ministers Ramjatan and Harmon, began to cast blame on prison officials and, by extension, the judiciary for the unrest. The Minister of State says some inmates will be called to give evidence.
They expect to take evidence from inmates of the Georgetown prison and maybe other prisons as well, because they're going to be looking at how you can avoid this occurring again.
And on the international scene, Brazilian prosecutors are filing charges against ex-President Lula da Silva in a money laundering investigation. He denies any wrongdoing and says the charges are politically motivated. The accusations are part of a major corruption investigation at the state oil company Petrobras. Lula and his wife, Marissa Leticia, face questions over the alleged ownership of a seafront penthouse in the exclusive resort of Guarujá. And that's news and sports. However, you can join us again this afternoon for more. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into channel 99 on Flow TV and the Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.